Thanks so much for taking a minute to look at this video preview. I'll show you what your daily routine will look like when you're using this intervention in your classroom. Each day begins in the exact same way, with letters, pictures that correspond with the sounds, and a letter of the day that we'll be focusing on for the sound and for letter formation. I've already done some circling here, but I'll show you what you as the teacher and what your students will be doing at the beginning of the routine. Every day we use our letter cards and we say the letters and the sound. So I hold up the card for my students and I say T, 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 turtle. And then in their recording booklet, they circle the letters. When they're finished, all letters should be circled. We're not taking time coloring them in. It's honestly just a way to keep students focused on what you're doing. In years past, I have literally used these cards every year of teaching, and I found that sometimes I'm the only one saying or looking at the letters. Our students need to be engaged in multiple ways by looking, saying, seeing, and even circling those letters to engage them in many ways. We start the group every single day by just circling all of our letters. Then we move on to letter formation. We work on tracing and writing uppercase and lowercase of a letter of the day. Every single day that will be different, and it's a spiral review all year long. So C is the first letter. When we do all 26 letters, we'll start again with C and keep spiraling through, because our students, many times, if they're at an intervention level, they're going to need these letters repeatedly. This page on the left-hand side will be the same nearly every day. On the right-hand side, the activities are designed to be engaging for the students and something that they'll look forward to doing each and every day. So I use the same cards here for alphabet bingo. So I'll dig through and find C, O, A, D, and G. Students will use these letters to make their own bingo board. So they might write a capital C, a capital A D, a lowercase a lowercase O, G, D, and C. They'll make their own bingo board, and you'll use your letter cards to call them out. Then they can X them out. You can decide if you want to have them get 3 in a row or cover the whole board. In this section, you'll look and we'll see we're trying to find all of the C's, and they'll work to color all of the letter C's. In this section, we want to see how many letters students can write in 1 minute. So they can copy from over here. They could write the letters in their name. They could copy from the board, whatever works for them, but just to get used to writing letters. Again, on day 2, you'll start with your flashcards and circling, and then they'll use a spinner, and my students love to use spinners. With this, I give them a highlighter, and we spin and highlight. Spin and highlight. Every student can have their own spinner if you're okay with that, or you could do it as a group where you take turns spinning on your book and they highlight in their book, whatever you would like to do. We don't just highlight it, we also should be saying O, ah, O, ah, so that we get used to seeing and saying those letters. Once we run out of letters here, let's say, for example, I had highlighted this and then I land on a capital O. Oh no, I don't have any more capital O's. I'm going to come down here and see, oh, I have a ostrich or an olive. Either way, working on seeing those letters, saying those sounds, plus if you use a spinner, your kids are going to love it. Down at the bottom, this section will look different in later weeks, but we're just working on pointing and saying the sound. So we would k, ah, ah, k, just saying those sounds. Later, we'll blend them into CVC words. Day 3, we'll start with our flashcards, and then we will use dice to roll a sound. So you can use a marker, a pencil, a crayon, whatever you want to use, but typically what I do is I have them roll the dice and say, ah, ah. Whoop, I'm losing my dice. Ah. And the point will be to get all the way to the top. And then when we get to the top, we can stop. Again, we'll point to all of our letters, just like if we were reading. And then as you'll see on day 4, we will be able to point and make either real words or nonsense words. On day 4, you'll start your routine as usual. Here, you typically, as the teacher, I say the picture. I'll say, this is a cup. K, k, k. Circle the letter that says k, and students will circle the C. This is a picture of dice. Which letter says d, d, dice? And so on. Again, we'll start with our daily routine, and then day 5 is always a favorite. I designed this with bingo daubers in mind, like bingo daubers will fit here. However, if you just want to use markers or crayons, that's okay too. What students would do is look and see we have a dog. Which letter says d, d, dog? And use your bingo dauber. Here's a game, g, g, game, and daub the letter. With these, you'll notice the same letters are the ones that were introduced in the book earlier in the week. So these letters will be repeatedly reviewed over the course of the week. Then at the end, we'll decode our words, and typically at the beginning, especially this is week 1, I'm doing a lot of the sounds. I'm doing a lot of the reading, but that's okay. At intervention level, we're looking for them to be exposed to this and hoping that maybe by week 20 or 25, they're picking up some of these things and they know what to do because they've watched you do it and heard you do it so many times. So if you have questions about this intervention, please feel free to reach out. One tip that I have is to keep everything that you need, your spinners, your bingo daubers, your markers and crayons and highlighters, all in a basket, so that whether you are pushing into classrooms or pulling out, you have everything you need all in one place. Thanks for watching this video preview. Let me know if you have any questions.